So business model canvas. What did you question at you? Perfect. A lot of people. Have you given that a try? I do that all the time, and every time I improve on that. Even today, yesterday, my team did a business model canvas. Like it's been 10 years, Young Innovations, you're a product line, we did canvas, and we're constantly revising that. Okay? So every time I revise a business model canvas for my product line or my service line, so even if you think you know it, you have to do it all the time. And today we're going to do that. Right? Business model canvas को first matter business model. Right? Very technical background you guys are mostly from tech background, I guess. Right? So a lot of time we start with product. Your product and just go around the customer. So we need to understand the business model. First one, business model, it describes the rationale of how an organization creates, delivers, and captures value. How do you create value? How do you deliver value? That is going to solve the problem of traveler. But how do you deliver that value? Right? And how do you capture value? The product, Facebook is Facebook because it has been wonderfully successful in terms of capturing value. Right? Create, deliver, and capture value. What is that value? Any idea? How would you define value? Okay, you have a demand. Sorry? Solving the need. So the way I would define value is addressing the pain point of users. And most of the time in technology, the pain point obvious. Once you get to the root of the pain point before somebody else does, then that is addressing the pain point. For example, Facebook. Did we know that we need a social network inside? We had no idea that we wanted that badly. They identified that need, they educated people about that, and they have been constantly creating, delivering, and capturing value through small things like you like the buttons on Facebook now. That's a killer concept that nobody else had thought before, right? So that's about value. Value comes in like bigger, different shapes and sizes. So it's your responsibility as an entrepreneur to identify what that value is. If you identify that value, 90% of the task is done. Most of the time we struggle in identifying that particular value. Understood? And if at times if you want to disagree with my argument, please raise your hands and we can do that. Because it's my experience the way you should understand on these kind of things is like challenge yourself. Challenge the people who is giving something to you. So that either you get into my piece or I have to get into your piece. Right? And that is a constant battle that you have to do throughout your tech career. Okay, business model canvas, it's a canvas, but as you can see it in the paper right there, it's a visual representation of your business model. Right? Visual representation, the representation of different elements of your business model that allows you to first map relationship among the parts of your model. That's why, how do you order boxes or something? 9. Each of the boxes are connected, right? Right? So you see the relationship among different parts. So business model map, let's say MBA I don't need to take finance classes. It's about, again, going back to the value concept and trying to see what is required. How do you deliver? How do you create? How do you nurture? Right? So it's seeing that relationship. And also identify hypothesis, assumptions, and risks. So have you got an idea about it? Have you got a business? We are starting with a hypothesis. You go millions of dollars, I'll make my life easy, for example. Right? We all have that dream. I want to come to Udhyami Seed Camp and possibly find an investor who is willing to give me 30 lakhs of rupees seed funding. But we see that, right? So that's a hypothesis. Business model, but a hypothesis. Okay? And if your hypothesis is that, you test for and if you are not able to test that hypothesis, then forget about that business model canvas and focus on something else. Focus on another idea. So, when you fail early, fail fast. And our plan validation testing, right? So my day startup but definitely all that. My day say, okay, I've conceived the business model, everything looks good. Now how do I test it? Test who are the users, consumers. How do I reach out to them? Right? Market, channels, pricing, find ways to add value or reduce cost. Right? And brainstorm market disruption strategies. Right? So disruption, tech industry with एकदम disruptive product like all of us know. Right? It does not just come out of consumer demand. Right? Disruptive channel reach consumer demand. The conventional market survey, market research, it never comes. That's why the biggest cab company in the world does not own a single cab. What's that? The biggest media company does not own a single content. What's that company? Facebook. That's the biggest media company in the world, but they do not have a single editor to create the content, right? And we're living in those kind of disruptive, environment. So how do you create that disruption? It's like once you see everything, linking together, then it's okay. This is a very, very conventional channel. Maybe I want to do something else, but this is a connection, right? So before even moving on to the DMC, I just want to organize a party. So that it will be a surprise. And the key questions that we need to address is how do you actually want to go into detail of this data on? How do you acquire customers? Actually, after product line, how do you acquire customers? Right? I have built an app. It's like the wave have shifted a little bit. Back in 2005, 6, 7, like all of us early adopters were into mobile app. App App Store App Store $5 to download 20,000 20 into 5 how do I acquire customers when I'm right? And just to share my story, there are I think my friend, more personally, my company matter, at least 10-12 idea you over a period of 10 years failed by we have burned cash and everything on that. Because we did not get it right. Right? And after you have landed a new customer, first customer, how do you plan to relate to that customer and manage the relationship, if at all? You want to do that. Customer ayo, by hook or by crook. So our company might try to be related with my example. We work on products, we have our own product line, international product line, at the same time we have a service line as well. Right? So basic rule of thumb, service line, company manages us. If we get one customer, that one customer should bring us 2 other additional customers. So you have to create that value. Meaning if you do a website, right? Your customers are should be your biggest marketing channel. So meaning for example, if I deliver these lectures and really add value to your knowledge, you would recommend me to somebody else. As simple as that, right? So after you have landed to a new customer, how do you plan to relate that customer and manage the relationship? Right? Second, just think about it. I don't need answers right now. How do you charge your customers? What is your revenue model? Products, apps, how do you charge? Right? When we started, we used to say flat fee website company right? No, त्यो पनि हाम्रो एउटा revenue model थियो because we had to penetrate into the market. I give them my daily rates, I give them my hourly rates. If you want us, fine. If not, move on. We focus on something because we have a specific international customer base. So meaning, if you look into our main example, the revenue model has also evolved. Revenue model is fixed over a period of time. When you're bootstrapping, when you're just starting, your revenue model could be very different versus 6 months back, ekdam राम्रो भयो नि फेरि more revenue model change हुन सक्छ. So you have to constantly think in that direction. How much do you charge your customers? Can you calculate your revenues for the next month, quarter and year? A lot of time मैले अब 5-7 वर्ष भयो यो नेपालमा स्टार्टअप इकोसिस्टममा अलिकति एक्टिभली यसरी मेन्टरिङ people give me numbers, revenue. Okay, next by 5 years we plan to collect a revenue of $10 million भनेर आउँछ कि एउटा आइडियाको कुरा हैन. तर is that realistic? How do you calculate your revenue for the next month, quarter and year? And give me that numbers भन्ने कुरा गर्छ है. अब त्यो कसरी आउँछ? कस्टमरले भ्यालु एड गर्छ, कस्टमरले चार्ज गर्छ हाम्रो रेभेन्यू मोडल बेसिसमा. So you can see everything is linked. What assets are available to you or under your control? त्यो गर्नको लागि what do we have resources, right? And all these questions are eventually linked with your business model canvas. Who are your key partners? Right? A lot of time tech companies are we think that we can do everything. We think we can do everything. And that's not true. A lot of times we have this mindset of, again, ego, including me, myself. And we forget to incorporate right partnership at the right time. Let's say if you are a food manufacturer, for example, right? Food manufacturer, if engineers are website solution, logistic delivery, you as a techie, as a developer, would not have that idea on how logistics system works. If people can crack that, then that's where it's going to be very, very successful. Right? So for that, you need to identify who are your partners. Right? By the 2000s, let's say .com bubble, the .com bust, right? It's like there are companies who raise billions of dollars, right, overnight, and e-commerce was like very, very huge those days. When I was still in college, 2000 Mandagari, and suddenly people overpromised. So there was a very classic story of a pet store, online pet store. They received like more than $500 million of investment. Overnight, everything was good, right? Suddenly it became so popular that they failed to deliver the products. Okay? Nepal just now, US, if you fail to live up with your promise, then people can actually sue you. And the company went bankrupt within 1 month. Right? Primarily because logistics go to after night cost challenge, they did not think about it, right? So this is where you need to be thinking about your partners right now. Right? What key activities do you need to engage in to deliver your value proposition? Okay, we want to solve this problem, this is my product, so what do you need to do? It's not, is it only about building your website, your app? What other activities do you need to do when you run key activities? What are your fixed costs? Cost right? What are your variable costs? Fixed cost or variable cost ko difference ta thaha chaini haina. Variable cost bhaneko chai monthly recurring cost ke cha. That's called working capital, okay? Financial terms ma haina. Every month chai maile ke ma paisa तिरिराख्नु पर्छ, every week ma ke ma तिरिराख्छु versus मलाई fixed cost. जस्तै fixed cost भनेको furnitures. हैन त्यो चीज मैले every month किन्न पर्दैन हैन. त्यो वाइज पनि सोच्नु पर्यो. Does your revenue forecast demonstrate increased profitability towards the end of the forecast period or not? When the revenue also balances, this part of the profit also gives. Just my company, we target like 80% to 100% growth every year, and so far we've been doing it. Why no? I did say revenue, this much 100% growth. I am steadily to some. Now we are going down primarily because 100% going by that way. I would have been millionaire by. Like forecast practical grounds right? So your some questions are business model canvas, right? If you look into these things, right? When I just explain and I'll complete again and again and again. Right? Now we are talking about customer segments. Example idea actually, can you please give me an example of customer segment for your company, for your product? Could any team to volunteer? Yes, can you speak up a little? Somebody is doing that.
Communication platform teachers, students, parents, college, everyone.
So who are your customer segments?
Our customer segment college students college administrator effectively communicate.
Okay, fine, perfect, right? So who are your customer and user farak? There's a difference between user and a customer. Customer is somebody who writes the check for you. Right? So that is where you need to define who are your exact customers. Right? When I customer, I will go dive deep into it again and again. Customer segment, and this is having value proposition. What are those 5 key values, 2 values that you want to provide to your customers? Right? And this what we talk about customer relationships. Relationship, again we'll do dive deep into it. Customer case company customer relationship, we're really proud inside that we work across 20 different countries and have a customer, we are there for as a long-term partner. In fact, and that has really worked for us. I don't mean to say that you need to follow that model, but for us, it's like I work in a country that I've never been to earlier. For example, we work in Tanzania. There I got a customer relationship ideation implementation we're there as partners. Right? So meaning relationship established I need to be thinking in that direction. I need to be understanding my customers' business in and out. Right? I need to be understanding their problem. I need to know the context. So whenever I go to a new country for a new customer, first that I do is read about their political economy. Right? So it's based on the customer segment, then you need to understand. For example, in your case, if you're targeting schools, right? Customer relationship established, you need to know the actual pain point. Right? Test the customer channels. And then we talk about revenue streams. Okay, your value proposition, your customer relationship, right? And on the left side, if you look at this thing, this business model canvassing has been scientifically designed into different blocks. Right? So this is like value proposition in the center. On your right side, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is like more on the customer-centric thing, right? And this is more on your supply side, meaning your part. Then we see to deliver those value proposition and eventually get those revenue. What are the key activities that you need to do? Right? And then what are your key resources? Right? Key partners and cost structure, for example. Now, the questions that I asked earlier, now you can see how it is related to your business model. Right? So we'll dive deep into it, don't we? In case you're not confused. Because customer segment, we'll do it. The second half of this session will be I would expect you to practically do it within your teams. Right? I think you have to present it tomorrow, right? So you'll have all night to work on that. But before that, session, I beg you to do that and see how it works. I'm confused in Kumbela amount. When confusion, when you are comparing with multiple ideas, right? You will say, I know one straightforward idea. So at the end of the session, again, I'd be very happy if you are confused as well. Right? Customer segment, see? Now value proposition. Remember, more idea, but you have to remember, right? You have to start in this sequence. You cannot start with revenue stream. You cannot start with key activity. So the canvas number check first customer segment. It's on the far right? Then we come to value proposition. Customer segment. It's an interesting block. Okay? There is value proposition, there is customer. Now how do you connect with that? Value proposition we seek to solve customer problems and satisfy customer needs with value proposition. Customer problem is that we solve the problem and satisfy the need. By the way, there is a difference between need and a want.
Need भनेको चाहिँ नभई नहुने want भनेको चाहिँ डिजायरेबल चिज मात्रै हो
मलाई फुड चाहियो के मैले बिहान ब्रेकफास्ट गर्छु द्याट्स माइ निड तर मलाई पास्ता चाहियो चाहिँ इज माइ वान्ट सो नीड र वान्टमा पनि कहिलेकाहीँ चाहिँ हामी वी ट्राई टु प्याकेज द्याट एज वान सिंगल सिम्पल कुरा कारखानाको मोडलमा फर इक्जाम्पल अघि हिजो भर्खर साकारसँग कुरा भएर हामी गर्न Game के हुन्छ भने okay, I will make sure that kids in your school have an aptitude for mathematics and computers at a very early age. Right? That's their value proposition. Let's say, for example, अब त्यसको एक्स्ट्रा गेन भनेको के हो भने you can actually charge more to the parents. So we need 10,000 rupees a month to conduct 4 sessions. You will actually charge 20,000 a month to the parents and actually make money out of the service that we offer to you. When a principal like convince that's the extra gain, right? Pain एउटा उनीहरूको mathematics र computer मा चाहिँ बच्चाहरुलाई पढाउने orientation नपुगेको त्यो pain त solve भयो. But think about extra gain as well, right? And अर्को कुरा चाहिँ अघि कुनै मैले दिएको एक्जाम्पल छ, what is that decision trigger? Decide कसरी गर्छ, है? मैले अब यसमा communications मा भन्छ there is AIDA भन्ने principle थाहा छ, AIDA. You might need that all the time. Whenever you are communicating with things, be it your customers or something, AIDA. First, attention. Why should you listen to me? Right? Again, by let's say 20 years of experience, okay, why? You mentioned a bit that's how well. One of the just the product there is that attention grab. First, for attention, people should listen to you, think about you. Attention first grab. I for interest. Attention first interest. You mentioned interest create, right? Interest भइसकेपछि अब लाइक फिल्टर हामीले साइफनिङ गर्दा आइरहेछ के अटेन्सन जस्तै कान्तिपुरमा ब्ल्याङ्केट एड दिने भनेको अटेन्सन ग्राब भयो नि, राइट? अब त्यसपछि इन्ट्रेस्ट अनि त्यसपछि डिजायर, अब साइफन गरेर हामी इन्ट्रेस्ट पनि भयो. अब मलाई पिपल सुड बी डिजायरिङ फर यो प्रडक्ट, म यो प्रडक्ट युज गर्छु, यो सर्भिस किन्छु भन्ने कुरा. एन्ड लास्टमा चाहिँ डिजायर गरेर चाहिँ फाइनल एक्सन, AIDA. यु सुड कन्भर्ट द्याट इन्टु एक्सन. So, कुनै पनि चीज हामी कम्युनिकेट गर्दा कुरा गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ रिमेम्बर दिस प्रिन्सिपल कि यो भन्न त बिजनेस कम्युनिकेसनको प्रिन्सिपलहरू हो, तर इट वर्क्स एभ्रिवेयर कि. लेट्स से मैले मेरो कम्पनीमा कहिलेकाहीँ सेसन्सहरू गर्दाखेरि वाइ सुड दे लिसन टु मी भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ त्यो त्यहाँबाट सुन्नु पर्यो. अटेन्सन कसरी ग्राब गर्ने, इन्ट्रेस्ट किन कसरी, त्यो अटेन्सनलाई इन्ट्रेस्टमा कसरी कन्भर्ट गर्ने, इन्ट्रेस्टलाई डिजायरमा कसरी कन्भर्ट गर्ने, डिजायरलाई एक्सनमा गर्ने. लट अफ टाइम वी टक अबाउट प्रडक्ट, अब मैले कसरी युज गरेँ भनेर त्यो लास्टको ए पार्ट छोड्दैछ त्यो एक्सन चाहिँ, राइट? फेसबुक एडभर्टाइज गरेर पुस्ट गरेर सबै चिज गर्छ, वाट त्यसको चाहिँ एक्सन आइटम्स के हो भन्ने कुरा चाहिँ भन्नुपर्दा चाहिँ वाट इज द्याट डिसिजन ट्रिगर, राइट? मैले AIDA को प्रिन्सिपल भने के चिजले गर्दा चाहिँ उसले तिम्रो प्रडक्ट सर्भिस युज गर्ने डिसिजन गर्छ. एट द एन्ड does your offer, your service, your value, your product, right? Enough added value to motivate the customer to pull out their card and wallet at the end. Right? Contract काम गरेर 10 वर्ष चाहिँ म R&D गरेर भोलि चाहिँ यसको पेटेन्ट छु अर्को टाइप भयो. I'm not interested in those kind of ideas. We're talking about starting from an idea and that actually making money. You know? So Nepal को जहिले पनि के भन्छ, it is not a proven thing, right? But मेरो आफ्नो understanding चाहिँ if you are not able to make money within 6 months, think about your business immediately after 6 months. Product launch गरेको टेकमा स्पेसिफिकली product launch गरेको 6 month भित्र चाहिँ रेभेन्यू आउन थाल्नै पर्छ. नेपालमा त्यो सस्टेन हुने बिकज हाम्रो इन्भेस्टमेन्ट क्लाइमेट, इन्भेस्टमेन्ट कल्चर त्यस्तो अब सिलिकन भ्याली जस्तो छैन where you work. बिकज 6 month मैले किन राखेको भने म्याजिकल नम्बर चाहिँ त्यसपछि तिम्रो टिममै इन्ट्रेस्ट लुज हुँदैन, राइट? सबैले आफ्नो फाइनेन्सियल लिडदेखि लिएर सबै. सो थिङ्क अबाउट दिस प्रिन्सिपल, 6 month भित्र चाहिँ रेभेन्यू आउनै पर्छ. वेल इट्स अ डिफरेन्ट केस इफ यु हेभ your model that requires 3 years of technology development गरेपछि मात्रै गर्छ भने अर्को कुरा. तर टेक्नोलोजी लन्च भएर चाहिँ फुल गइसक्यो 6 month भित्र रेभेन्यू आयो भने then you will see that motivation on you to actually make it big. Yes.
Okay, the pain gains extra gain को कुरा गर्नु. So painलाई solve गर्नु पनि एउटा गेन भयो.
Exactly.
अनि फेरि त्यो गेन भइसकेपछि हामी एक्स्ट्रा गेन गर्नु कसरी गाह्रो कुरा भयो. अब
एक्स्ट्रा भ्यालु दिने सोच छ भने
जस्तै म एउटा इक्जाम्पल दिन्छु. अब हाम्रो आइडिया चाहिँ कस्तो छ भन्दा आवर आइडिया इज भर्मिकोनिक्स. हामी चाहिँ इन्टायरली अर्ग्यानिक भेजिटेबल्सहरू अफ सिजनमा र अलिकति कम प्राइसमा चाहिँ मार्केटमा लैजाने हाम्रो आइडिया एउटा कोर पार्ट हो. अब त्यसमा चाहिँ मान्छेहरूले अक्सिजन भेजिटेबल चाहिँ चिप प्राइसमा पाइरहेको छैन र त्यो अर्ग्यानिक पनि छैन. त्यो भनेको चाहिँ पेन भयो. त्यसलाई सल्भ गरे हामीले गेन भयो भने वाट इज द एक्स्ट्रा गेन?
एक्स्ट्रा गेन भनेको सिधै छ. जस्तै you can be highlighted as early adopter for this and bringing out organic revolution in the market. Aram why did you think product services people use Garage? At the same time, I get credit for everything. Because you are, changing the whole world kind of thought by buying. So you have to brand it that way. Extra gain right? Extra gain ko extra gain ko poor pain solve it's like a classic example. Websites are the corporate website are really यस्तो डिजाइन फ्यान्सी हुन्छ कि मान्छेले गएर पछि लास्टमा गएर हेर्दा कन्टेन्टमा चाहिँ सबै ग्राफिक गरेर राइट कति ठाउँमा चाहिँ इभेन्ट क्यालेन्डर राखेको हुन्छ डोरेम इप्सम राखेको हुन्छ राइट सो यु आर नट सल्भिङ द एक्चुअल थिङ इन किनभने तिमीसँग त्यो कन्टेन्ट नै छैन भने वाइ डु निड द्याट फिचर के जुन बेला न्युज आउँछ त्यो बेला न्युज राख्दैन अहिले हामीले गभर्मेन्टको नेपालको धेरै कर्पोरेट वेबसाइटहरू यो सिधा के बिकज उनीहरूले एक्स्ट्रा चाहिँ मलाई यस्तो राम्रो युजर एक्सपिरियन्स चाहियो भनेर सोचेर चाहिँ एक्स्ट्रा गेममा फोकस गरेँ कि रियल चाहिँ बरु दुईजनाले राखेर चाहिँ 2 दिन चाहिँ त्यो कन्टेन्ट मात्रै रिभाइज गरिदिएको भए द कस्टमर वुड एक्चुअली गेट रियल भ्यालु द्याट इज वाट वी डु एट आवर कम्पनी मैले कुनै वेबसाइट लन्च गरेँ भने वी हेभ अ प्रुफ रिडर के अरे जसले चाहिँ त्यो कन्टेन्ट पनि हेर्नैपर्छ कि मेरो कस्टमरले नमागे पनि म दिन्छु राइट द्याट्स एक्स्ट्रा customer. Got it? Just a very example. My content here, I'm not the website for example. I don't do it to do websites anymore, but I can content back because I can make it after the management. We used to do that. I used to spend my time in making sure that the content for that website is right. That's an exchange. Last one, people should do it. Now, channel value proposition. Now you can see it has to reach out to customers. What is the channel? Right? Value propositions are delivered to customers through communication, distribution, and sales channel. How do we reach out to your customers? Right? This one's an important factor. Again, I did that principle for that. How do you deliver the value at every stage of the buying process? Buying process is not one single step. Discovery, again, idea is when first people need to discover you, your product, your services. People need to, then people will evaluate. Timbre product use गर्ने भनेर तिमीले कत्रा नयाँ product ल्याउने बित्तिकै म के गर्छु अब त्यस्तो अरू केही चिज एक्जिस्ट गर्छ जस्तै तिमीले चाहिँ प्राइस कम्पेरिजन गराइदिनु ला भने जस्तै तिम्रै टुललाई पनि is there any other tool that I can use? Then people will start evaluation. Right? Evaluation मा तिम्रो value proposition ले चाहिँ has to make the product stand up. And then you purchase transaction, right? And then you have to deliver the product or the service, right? So when you say, let's say service to match my contract, now, I actually do it. If I was very just to take my problem kind of tech industry matching, I go and I can convince my client and I sign a contract, that's purchase this, right? Now product delivery, right? Delivery focus while when you say, you ruin the entire possibility of establishing a proper customer relationship. And so you need to consider all these things. You need to deliver the value at every stage. How do they discover? How do they evaluate? Evaluate possibly stand up, deliver, purchase, deliver, and the most neglected part is please do not think this is like not very important. The after sales service in these companies. Why is someone kidding? Like I have problems with every e-commerce website in Nepal with that product. I have problems with every customer consumer product that I buy. Right? Nepal the real value add value only after sales service like you have to focus. You have to give it the most priority. Then you will stand out from the crowd easily. हामी के गर्छौँ भने हाम्रो थट प्रोसेस चाहिँ कस्तो छ भने मान्छेले सामान किने फाइन त्यसपछि my focus is to gain a new customer. हाम्रो माइन्डसेट चाहिँ कस्टमर सर्भिस ओरिएन्टेसन हाम्रो जेरो नै छ टु बी भेरी अनेस्ट हाम्रो कल्चरल फ्याक्टर्स मेबी आई डोन्ट नो व्हाट इट इज हैन तर भ्यालु एड गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ मेन चाहिँ भनेको आफ्टर सेल्स सर्भिस इट डिपेन्ड्स अन द काइन्ड अफ सर्भिस द्याट यु हेभ द काइन्ड अफ प्रडक्ट बट अगेन हाउ डु यु एक्चुअली डु द्याट एन्ड आवर कम्पनी इन्टरनेसनली वी टु वर्क इन प्राइमरी बिकज अफ द्याट We have like a legitimate formal process, adapted from Google or Spotify or different models over here. That's it. After sales service, like core business operations, we have done that for ourselves. Internationally, 20 odd countries from many campus. It's not that my map matter. Someone can let me go there and work on that customer. So people actually reach out to us in a very specific area. Campus area, when it becomes specific, so we do target data mining, data analysis, big data, different international financial flows, right? Most of you would not understand what that means, but we specialize on that at a global level. After sales service, these guys are really good. Can I recommend you to provide the same service in Moldova, in Vietnam, because for me, I think I cracked the nut right at the start when I said I want to focus on this. I don't care about the money. But Sane Paisa I went to customer, I will provide that service for that. So channel to you separate process to the channel. Facebook, I use social media to reach out to your customers. Fine. Discovery evaluation and or after sales service. Consider both physical and virtual channels. Even if your product is tech product, you need to reach out to people, right? So consider online, offline relations. Now we have completed this part, right? Remember, value proposition, customer, channel. Now this is the sweet spot, customer relationship. Right? I think I've spoken quite a bit about that already. It is established and maintained with each customer segment. Right? Where customers are again, if you have 20 customer segments, then 20 different type of customer relationships. So if the narrow list that you have, it's much easier to give a concrete shape to your business model. Right? Don't try to do it for everyone when you start. Maybe at the end I will talk about that is this BMC भनेको चाहिँ एउटा चाहिँ 5 वर्षको 50 रुपैयाँ मा खाइन्छ तर एउटा राम्रो गार्डन छ भने I'm willing to pay 700 rupees, right? And so what value are customers willing to pay for this system? I will charge customers on this thing matter भनेर भयो नि त्यो एउटा बेसिक भइहाल्यो तर के को लागि कस्टमरले पे गर्छ जस्तो तिम्रो सर्च प्राइस कम्प्यारिजन भयो नि you have to be creative enough to think about the value. Well, let's say, for example, I'm not saying you have to work on this thing, but the value is if we get the cheapest price for you, but if the customer does they definitely want to charge, but I know that. E-commerce store land so there's a certain commission. Right? So customer customer existing e-commerce websites, right? So they have value extra customer and if you are able to quantify that, then that becomes your revenue. What value do customers infer from your pricing? 30,000 rupees pricing right? Because what value do customers infer? I went there, I bought 3 months sometimes I was very happy with that. The Gadi scratch will carry original, sometimes I was pretty happy. Why did they put price? Customer value. Now, revenue strategies. Revenue stream pricing something like revenue stream is equals to strategy. What will people pay for? Right? Pricing is tactics. Right? Cost of pricing. How much and when? Customer that is revenue tactics. Right? Pricing. Where can you generate revenue that others leave on the table is a critical thing that you need to focus. Especially tech industry. Only सोच्दै नसोचेको ठाउँमा कसरी पैसा दिन्छ. Where can you generate revenue that others leave on the table? Only सोच्दै नसोचेको ठाउँमा कसरी revenue दिन्छ. See for example, simple model is membership fee revenue खतरा भयो. So that is those are the kind of revenue models that everybody thinks about. What are other different models that you do? I'll give you an example. I was in a plan which did not kick off was to open a really huge beer garden in Nepal. Because seen it internationally, like 1,000 people go to beer gardens or international chances. So not that big. Okay, let's do an exercise. We did not do that primarily. I'll say the story later on why not. त्यसमा गर्दाखेरि हामीले रेभेन्यू स्ट्रिममा के पनि सोच्यौँ भने बियरको बोतलको त्यो खाली सिजनले दिने प्राइस पनि रेभेन्यूमा दिनु राइट इफ यु क्यान सेल 5,000 bottles of beer every day त्यो खाली सिजनले 2 रुपैयाँ 3 रुपैयाँ 4 रुपैयाँ जाँदाखेरि पनि द्याट इज यर रेभेन्यू मोडल अरूले सोच्दा त्यसरी सोच्दैन कि हाउ मच मैले चाहिँ कति प्रिमियम राख्ने कति प्राइस राख्ने भन्ने मात्र सोच्छौँ भने अरूले नसोचेको रेभेन्यू स्ट्रिम पनि सोच्नु पर्यो
त्यसमा अरू पनि कुरा गर्नु सक्नुहुन्छ बियर त मेसिन पाउँदैन सपिङ गरेर ग्लासमा डेकोरेसन
So there are different things. Already नसोचेकोबाट रेभेन्यू ल्यायो भने कस्टमरलाई पेन पनि भएन राइट where can we generate revenue right? Then finally on the customer side को सिद्धि अब आफ्नै साइडमा आउँछ key resources भनेको चाहिँ assets required to offer and deliver the previously described elements के गर्छु भने चाहिँ अब all right come to reality हैन यो चीज गर्छु भने सबै कस्टमरले भनेको तर you have that or not what are the resources हैन think about infrastructure and resources you need to deliver what you promise tools space location personnel equipment intellectual property what not यो चीज गर्छु भने चाहिँ लास्टमा गएर चाहिँ एउटा सर्भिस बेस त चाहियो नि हैन you need developers you need financial resources हैन सो कति बेला चाहिँ यति सबै भनेको थियो अब चाहिँ गर्न सकिएन बिकज यो रिसोर्सेस म्यानेज गर्न नै मलाई नाइटमेयर हुन्छ बिकज आई डोन्ट ह्याभ द्याट भनेपछि एन्ड यु हेभ टु लाइक यु नो स्टार्ट फ्रम रिसोर्सेसको कुरा त हामी पछि एक्जाम्पल दिएर एन्ड देन वी हेभ अदर इज की एक्टिभिटिज विच मिन्स अदर टास्क टु बी क्यारिड आउट टु डेलिभर आवर भ्यालु प्रोपोजिसन के गर्नु पर्यो to build the product, to offer that particular value to our customer, what are the things that we need? First, do a market survey, okay? Market research, okay? Up to example, but that is for you to define. Develop a website, develop build the product, build the app, take it to the customers, receive feedback, blah. Some activities also, I'll show you some examples later on. एउटा मेरो सजेसन चाहिँ एक्टिभिटिज भनेको डेलिभरेबल्स हो इफ यु अलवेज थिंक इट फ्रम दैट डाइरेक्सन बिकज एक्टिभिटिज इज इनपुट राइट इफ यु आर थिंकिङ इफ यु आर प्लानिङ पर्सपेक्टिभमा जहिले पनि इनपुट बेस्ड नभइकन आउटपुट बेस्ड गर्यो भने अलि बढी अब्जेक्टिभ हुन्छ मिनिङ डु अ मार्केट रिसर्च भनेर एक्टिभिटी भयो राइट बिल्ड अ वेबसाइट भनेको एक्टिभिटी भयो राइट त्यही चिजलाई चाहिँ डेलिभरेबल भयो भने okay, market report, prepare, like come up with a market report, like it's a deliverable, okay? Market perception survey, I'm just giving an example, like, that becomes a deliverable. Deliverable, only costly, input it is like, it becomes a process. Okay? So what we want to be doing is like process perspective, delivery perspective, focus. Right? And then we talk about when and by whom, right? Activities. We don't have skills to do research, we don't have skills to build iOS app, right? Some app. Android customer iOS perception, then you come to the and also think about activities, there are certain responsibilities and dependencies. And the bar Gantt chart activity A complete now activity B gonna activity C can go parallel to activity A. Right? Think about those dependencies. Activity first may you second may most of the time I mean the activity plan especially I've done that like a lot of times. Tech side first my app without even listing what are the activities that needs to be done. Right? First, my app website, product, and we think 90% of the task is done. And customer apply plan You are not able to reach out to your customer, you are not able to think about the revenue because you spent all your effort for the past 6 months into building that product. Right? त्यसपछि frustration हुन्छ GRE दिएर अमेरिका जान थालिन्छ seriously I've seen that that's a constant story Nepal पहिले जानु भएन भन्नु हैन तर because you have not planning properly what are the activities right and अर्को कुरा चाहिँ a lot of times you see a lot of companies here of course but again we are friends नि हैन सबैजना साथी मिलेर बनाएको छ नि पछि गएर चाहिँ त्यो चीज पनि प्रब्लम हुन सक्छ I'm not trying to break your friendship or anything because the activity list गरिसकेपछि do we have that resources in the team to deliver that service just okay reach out to let's say तिमीले कस्टमर गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ corporate sector banksहरु छानेछ right wouldn't it be good ideally to have somebody who has that network to the banks to be part of your team and so मैले भन्नु खोजेको चाहिँ activities हरु लिस्ट गरेर कसले कहिले गर्ने भन्ने बित्तिकै then you see okay this is a vacuum area त्यही कुरामा again it goes back to हाम्रो कतिको कुरामा अहिले आउँछ key partners को लागि पनि यहाँ फोकस गर्छ so that's what I really like this business model because it connects different thing and हामीले नसोचिरहेको that kind of partners हैन अनि यो सबै चीज गर्यौं हामीले resources activities पनि थाहा भयो अब यो चीज गर्दाखेरि पार्टनरहरुले पनि हेल्प गरिदिनु पर्छ मोस्ट अफ द टाइम अघि मैले पनि भनेको थिएँ पार्टनर्स भन्ने कन्सेप्ट चाहिँ हामी बिर्सिन्छौँ कि एभ्रिथिङ सबै आफैले गर्छ activities some activities are outsourced and some resources are acquired outside the enterprise outside your domain right numbering गरिराखौँ है we are almost close to the BMC some activities are outsourced and some resources are acquired outside of the enterprise you know अब यो भने के हो तिम्रो suppliers developers distributors investors marketers affiliates blah 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 who are those right तिम्रो price comparison गर्ने portal लाई चाहिँ think about how do you actually build a partnership model right and this is a little bit of typo think about how does each partner help or hinder the business model तिमी पार्टनर भने चाहिँ उसले चाहिँ तिम्रो बिजनेस मोडलमा कसरी हेल्प गर्छ अथवा कसरी त्यसलाई अफेक्ट पार्न सक्छ जस्तै एउटा पार्टनर भनेको तिम्रो पार्टनर सोच्न सक्ने कम्पिटिटर्सलाई पनि राख्न सकिन्छ के कम्पिटिटरले कसरी हिन्डर गर्छ इट्स नट ओन्ली अबाउट कसरी हेल्प गर्छ मात्र हैन कि इफ यु थिंक competitor is one of the you know like resources that you need to think about when you want to exploit property then you need to think about competitorले कसरी हिन्डर गर्न सक्छ र मैले त्यसलाई कसरी ट्याकल गर्छु and then finally the cost structure and you सबै चीज गरेर लास्टमा यहाँले चाहिँ cost structure ले चाहिँ मलाई यति पैसा चाहिन्छ अथवा म यो गर्न सक्दिन अथवा I need to scope down अथवा I need to scope up भन्ने कुरा चाहिँ यहाँ आउँछ है the business model elements result in the cost structure this is the last thing that you want to do you not want to start from okay cost भनेको के हो fixed cost, variable cost, resources, activity, partner cost, infrastructure cost. जति पनि हामीले activities र resources अब identify गर्यौं नि त्यसको बेसिसमा चाहिँ cost निकाल्न सक्छौं and this is how things connect okay अनि लाइक भयो तर value proposition देखि लिएर सबै चीज त्यसमा and these were the different icons that is used, right? And this is how, if you overlay, this is how their placement actually happens, right? So you start with number one, customer segment, value proposition, right? Third, channels. Fourth, customer relationship.
Revenue streams.
And then
Key resources. Key activities, key partners, cost structure.
Now let's look into some examples. So this is the sheet that you have, and you have to count it. Normally, is to learn the customer segment like say different colorful post-it tape. Right. So if it is red, right? Yes, red customer segment. You great post-it because the reason that why we want to use post-it is like you would want to move up and down, you want to throw, you want to rewrite. And it becomes a visual team building exercise as well. Right? So customer segment, corporate houses, I want to use pink post-it. And then maybe a different customer segment then I want to use a different color. Because then your customer segment will I continue the same color. Right? Your distribution channel will competition this is used. We'll see examples. Your example, but I really, of course, I've borrowed it from the internet, but I really kiva.org right? It's a crowdfunding platform. Right? Interesting, so let's look into it later. Then you will understand it even better. Customer segments. Wealthy Westerners. People living there who have extra money. Right? In Europe, US, Canada. Offer is lend to poor entrepreneurs in countries like ours. Customer segment. Your segment you have got yellow, right? And your section puts into your box. Channel. Kiva.org platform. Got it. Our expertise. Our core customer segment, poor entrepreneurs. Right? Wealthy Westerners, or the people living there, and you have to just the Kiva.org key concept I am an entrepreneur, I need $20,000 to do this. They will connect me to proper investors. Okay? But you see, wealthy Westerners, your philanthropic, your social perspective, it's not for everyone. Right? So you can see, Twitter customer segment, Twitter offer lend to poor entrepreneurs, and loan. Grant money. I need $20,000 to do this, whatever, they issue loan. Right? And local microfinance institutions, your channel. Now we can see. Online your local offline. Right? Exactly. Kiva.org. Kiva.org is usually popular when online or offline connect. Crowdfunding platform but this is local entrepreneurs Kiva.org reach. So local microfinance company, Nepal if you look into that, in Netherlands Kiva.org local microfinance companies are okay, this is an entrepreneur put on platform profile for that. So here you can see the reach out channel is also offline. And we did this to every stream, optional donations on top of it. See it. And you wealthy Westerner in a lending concern. Right? Okay, since they are doing social good, so what they are saying is like on top of actual donation, like $5,000 in lending revenue, we will ask for additional donation of $100. Revenue stream this was. But else you can think about it. This was
Key activity.
That's screening microfinance institutions, risk management, managing platform, Kiva.org, resources from Kiva.org platform, right? Just like key partner PayPal because payment payment gateway, local microfinance institutions of the network, right? And cost structure risk management platform screening, basic cost structure. Right? Risk management just like you're Nepal entrepreneur, I know this one, I think you entrepreneur right? So that is their legal risk management stuff. So this is how you actually do it. How you do it. Primarily, you offer customer segment channel you color customer segment connection start.
So customer segment key partners
Definitely.
Wedding Mishra can be also the partner.
Exactly. Ideally, that would be perfect. Okay. Your partner is your customer as well. If you can do that, you have cracked the model. People who believe in you are actually your buyers as well, and who are willing to help you. Just the mere case में क्या हुआ है? मैं अभी बने नहीं. मेरे key partners में client नहीं रख सकते हैं. Right? किना बंदा के we would want them to recommend our services to others. Maybe they are not distributors, as in they don't charge money for that, but they are like our important stakeholders. So let's say यहाँ पर मेरा business line अभी बड़ी strengthened right? Well, now let's look into few models, and then we can do it on our own. Google, right? You want to introduce yourself? To the audience. Internet users, advertisers and agencies, Google App members, mobile device owners, developers and enterprise customer segment clearly defined, right? Value proposition, web search, Gmail, Google Plus. Targeted ads using AdWords, extended ad campaigns. So these are all the value propositions and display advertising services. Platforms, Chrome OS, or something web hosted web. As you can see, there is connection. Right? Global sales and support teams. Multi-product sales force. Relationship program. Key activities, R&D, management of infrastructure. Key resources matching, data centers and IPs, intellectual properties, brand, some things outside you. And key partners, distribution partners. Right? Open Headset Alliance. So your mobile device को लागि चाहिँ यो Android open source operating system एउटा open handset alliance भन्ने entity नै हो त्यसले गरेर cost structure मा revenue structure मा हो Google revenues ad revenues Google website बाट enterprise product sales अर्को चाहिँ revenue free भन्छ भन्ने बित्तिकै मैले अघि भनेको छु free ले indirectly कसरी गर्छ भन्ने कुरा चाहिँ cost traffic acquisition cost how do the cost that it takes to मैले अघि नै भनेको कुरा पनि reinforce हुन्छ यसमा यो त के पनि हैन भन्ने cost लागिरहेको छ how do you attract people to use only Google अहिले त अब Google default भइसक्यो तर still पहिला गर्दाखेरि उनीहरुले when they were like Yahoo search केही अरु सबै R&D cost mainly personnel and then data center operation cost and others त्यस्तै गरेर क्विकली म अर्को एउटा देखाउँछु LinkedIn यो अहिले Google का हुनु नै धेरै नै भयो यसमा हेर्नु Internet users, recruiters, advertisers and developers they are here for specific customers value proposition manage professional identity and build professional branding that is what we use LinkedIn for and when LinkedIn मा चाहिँ आरबिएन चिया खाए भनेर राख्दिन नि whereas I do that in Facebook not saying that you should do it तर पहिले चाहिँ again त्यो प्रश्न उठिहालेको रहेछ you need to think about your profession भोलि entrepreneur भएर तपाईले what you post on social media is really important एकदमै important right because you would want to reach out to me as a customer तर मैले गरेको एक्सनलाई चाहिँ त्यसले कुनै बेलामा चाहिँ सोशल मिडियामा गएर चाहिँ that is archived forever हामी एक्चुअली मका एकजना डेभलपर आउनु मैले लेखेको हैन कलिग्सहरुले इन्टरभ्यु दिँदा के भने मलाई एकदम I love Python लेखेर भनेर चाहिँ जसले हामी Python प्रोग्रामर चाहिएको थियो हैन टक्क डाइरेक्ट गुगलमा त गरेको I hate Python भनेर मैले पोस्ट गरेर चाहिँ I don't know for what reason त्यो बेलामा एक्चुअली उनीहरु के रिस्क्यो होला के होला हैन तर that became a factor for us to actually use special technique to screen further whether this guy is related actually interested in Python or not as पछि उनीहरु भयो and then later he said like I know that त्यो बेलामा त मैले I was coding on Python मिल्दै मिलेर त्यसपछि I did Python तर simple कुरा चाहिँ that matters quite a bit especially entrepreneur लाई चाहिँ well you want to भन्नै नपर्ने मान्छेसँग हाँसेर हजुर दाइ भनेर गफ गरेर आफ्नो बिजनेसको कुरा गर्नुपर्छ है so okay LinkedIn को कुरा identify and reach the right talent, reach the target audience, access to LinkedIn database content via APIs and developers. You can see the connection, right? Channels matching, LinkedIn website, mobile apps, and field series, of course, right? relationship में relationship भनेको same side network effects and cross side network effects. भनेको के होला?
Field sales. Field sales.
Field sales. Field sales भनेको चाहिँ के गर्छ भने अब हामीले एउटा LinkedIn is just a website, it's a huge recruiting platform. Okay? So LinkedIn को चाहिँ specific countries-हरुमा जस्तै हामीले काम गरेको चाहिँ त्यो मोल्डोभा भन्ने देशमा अहिले like for the first time I knew about this field thing. मैले चाहिँ के भन्छु भने I need this kind of people भनेपछि LinkedIn को सपोर्ट टिममा पर्सनल्सहरुले राखेको हुन्छ जसले चाहिँ मलाई यस्तो यस्तो मान्छे खोज्दो भनेबित्तिकै उनीहरूले चाहिँ गएर सबै खोजेर दिन्छ and what they do is they reach out to specific companies के अहिले चाहिँ they reach out to let's say मलाई चाहिँ ठुलो ग्लोबल कर्पोरेटहरुमा गएर चाहिँ ओके उनीहरुको पोइन्ट चाहिँ के थियो भने and imagine the kind of money that they make, right? C-level मान्छेहरु खोज्दिनु के गर्नु चाहिँ chief executives-हरु, chief finance officer हैन जसको चाहिँ salary range $500,000 per year हुन्छ अनि उनीहरुले राइट मान्छे खोज्दै बापत 1 महिनाको पैसा दिनु field sales ल्याउन तर that is not LinkedIn ले गर्यो भने चाहिँ ordinary मेरो लागि हाम्रो कम्पनीलाई खोज्दैन right so as you can see पैसा कहाँबाट आउँछ भने LinkedIn जस्तो हामीले हेर्दा LinkedIn को पैसा आउँदैन भनेर it took them quite some time to figure it out. Okay, and relationship with the same side network effect or cross side network effect भनेको चाहिँ कस्तो भने same side भने you are working with a similar customer and उसले आफ्नै अर्को भनौँ न let's say if you are working with a bank is one of your customer segment भनेको चाहिँ बैंकले अर्को बैंकलाई रिफर गर्छ अनि त्यो same side network effect you want to maintain that kind of relationship with your customer. Okay? अर्को चाहिँ क्रस साइड भनेको चाहिँ बैंकले आफ्नो युजर्सलाई भन्यो अथवा बैंकले अर्को सेक्टरलाई भन्यो भने दैट इज क्रस साइड नेटवर्क इफेक्ट भनेको वी वान्ट टु क्रिएट अ नेटवर्क भने खासमा इभेन्चुअल कस्टमर रिलेशनशिप भने त्यही मोडलै हुन्छ सो एक्टिभिटीज डेभलप प्लेटफर्म रिसोर्सेसमा LinkedIn प्लेटफर्ममा त भएको के भने हैन अब की पार्टनरशिप फर डेटा सेन्टरको लागि उनीहरूले इक्विनेक्स भन्ने कम्पनी युज गरेछ भने कन्टेन्ट प्रोभाइडर्स cost structure revenue streams. So you may learn that you can be. You have to try to identify the company.
Clarity is sorry.
This is exactly Airbnb. Customer segment market clear say more travelers travelers that are looking for a good experience with a low price. You're a customer segment, like travelers. Second, people with extra place that want to rent. They are in customer segment, right? This was the value proposition. Great places to stay, travel like you can see blue color. Right? Great places to stay all around the world for low prices. Whenever I travel, only presenting that ceremony, I always use Airbnb these days. Only presenting here. After I say Airbnb, you know what I get it? Hotel specific locations are for example. Airbnb the meetings of my clients are it's a tactic any apartment by order plus the prices are always like in most of the cases at least if not more 50% cheaper than the hotel prices. And I get a full apartment, with all the amenities, my kitchen and everything.
But there are risks as well.
Sorry?
But there are risks as well.
There are risks as well, but again, it's like for a customer like me, I value the advantages more than the risks. Right? So it's like customer brand.
Security is the top part before I check into the hotel.
Right. So that's why it's even relevant to case. Like I've been to really difficult countries like Tanzania and whatever. Reviews. People would have reviewed that particular location. Right? For me, that is the biggest incentive to see. Because I've been to places like hotel market, hotel is safe enough, but again, hotel but when it's like especially African countries or so it's of course how do you frame it? But the risk, it's like how do you create that value and communicate that value to your customers? So we're not talking about like just the ethical, what the literature or discussions about whether Airbnb is actually ethical business or not, because you are like, creating a different hotel industry, but we are not getting into that. All we're doing right now is not criticizing on Airbnb, just trying to see how they have done their model. Okay? So, great place to stay for travelers. Rent out extra place effortlessly for a worldwide audience. And there are people I've seen in many countries. Actually, this full-time work is to lease apartment and put it in Airbnb. Full-time work, and they make shit tons of money out of that. Right? So they've clearly addressed that. Channel site, YouTube, iPhone app, blog, Facebook, and other Twitter for travelers. Right? Do one. And for the people who want to rent out, it's again site, YouTube, the same thing, right? Customer relationship, if you look into it, self-service on site with a support team, SMS, iPhone app. So if there is any problem, I would say, they are really focused on on-site support, right? As if there is a problem, I can give them a call anytime, and they have their own ways of doing things, right? Self-service on-site with the support team, SMS, iPhone app is also great for this thing. So ideally, what I want you to do is create something like this. Clearly red and blue bananas. So your customer segment channel, even if it is the same thing, you can write as Airbnb. You can actually repeat the same thing for each of your customer segments. Different body, make it different. If not, then you can repeat the same thing for each customer segment. Right? As you can see, they have a lot of partners, the photographers, main investors. Investors, as you can see, they're like ventures, different VCs or PayPal, Western Union, so on and so forth. Key resources, key activities, platform development and maintenance, community management, marketing, online international payment, photographers management, so on and so forth. Right? Yeah, just to get an idea why. Right? So before you move on, and try to do it, you have a few more slides from my side. Once you have done your business model canvas, for example, then you need to think about, does it work? That's why I want you to do it in papers with post-it pen, and then you paste it and leave it for half an hour, and come back and then say, you actually can't does it actually work or not? You need to constantly think about that. Do the revenues outweigh the cost of the business after all, right? And LinkedIn just too much of revenue sometimes the cost to do that versus the revenue that we get generated. And for that matter, LinkedIn was into like negative, growth in terms of revenues for quite a number of years. Right? Try estimating revenues and cost for the next one. Right? If I follow this model and if I think it works, then try to estimate revenue and cost for the next month or the first month of sales. Then you should know that whether this model works or not. If not, then you can make tweaks. Right? What are the risks to your business model? So if I said like my customer segment is this and everything is built around that, what if you are not able to actually get a single customer in that customer segment? Try to identify the risks in that sense. What parts of your business model are most critical for your business to grow in a profitable manner? Is it about customer relations? Is it about customer segment? Every component has added value, but again, what you need to think about is which is the most valuable, let's say, which is the one that I should focus on right now? Is it on activities? It depends on the type of your business. Is it on customer? You need to understand your own pain point. Which is the one that gets your critical attention? Are there things that can or should be changed to strengthen the business model or reduce the risk? Once you identify the risk, right? So do you need to change? Do you need to reframe your customer segment? Do you need to reframe your activities? Do you need to reframe your cost structure or revenue structure? Think about it. The whole point is, this is not static, this is dynamic. Right? Business model matching. It is only a pointer, a guidance for you to actually do your proper work. Right? But sometimes people think that a plan is something that has to be, we need to stick to it. But like people might say that, but I don't ever say that. Because things do not remain the same. Right? There are like 1,000 other factors that actually have an impact on your thing, and you need to plan for plan better to manage those uncertainty for sure. But again, that is why you need to be agile. Agile means every day change you have to do your BMC, try to follow it, and then see the impact immediately, and then again change it. Right. And then after doing BMC, what happens is that you need to clarify your business model assumptions. So if you remember, I talked about we all actually starting with a hypothesis. Right? Now try to clarify your assumptions. Check each response in the business model canvas, each of those post-its, right, against the following criteria. Which means, how do you know what you wrote in each building block is true? How do you know that your customer segment impacts? How do you know that your customer segment is this one? Think about it. Because this one I get pitch or theory somebody is doing. I know that because my end the users are people between 18 and 50 because I've done a small validation in the market. We have observed 5 stores. That should be your point. How do you know what you wrote in each building block is true? Just after answer I know what lacks because you would want to explain that to your investors, to your partners, to everyone they talk. More than that, you would want to explain that to yourself. Right? I've been giving so many examples of my company team. The reason that I'm giving that examples is because I've done that. I have made the to reference point where does it come from is pretty clear in my head. Right? So don't just take it for granted. Have you made an assumption or do you have solid evidence in the form of the documented facts? Assumption, okay, this is just based on our assumption, need to verify, need to clarify. And this goes for every single post-it that you post in your business model canvas. Right? Clear? In cases you have facts, label the response as fact and make a note of your evidence. Post-it matching, okay, business, segment matching, customer segment, this group, it's a fact. Right? In cases you have made assumption, label this as assumption and try to convert into facts later. Okay? Then you are actually doing your planning now. Not that you see the right? Then you would want to sit in the team again and try to establish that relationship. Okay? Right? Which is much better than hiring an MBA consultant with MBA degree to actually plan for you. Because if you want to run your enterprise, you first know the shit yourself. So, then what after your first years? I won't go straight. This is just a question. So what do you think? After all this discussion, we're coming to an end, and then we'll do, I don't know if we have time, but again, we want to do a small exercise for sure. So what do you do after your first ever BMC that you do? Last point is the facts or assumptions but differentiate. Right? Fine. Like facts, this is my assumption. Assumption, that needs to be qualified. That needs to be tested, right? So all causality, and that is where just I'm saying, especially through seed camps and others, you try to make the most out of mentors. Because everything like field test something. And so people with a little bit of more experience or people who know things, they should be the ones. And mentoring, once you do your BMC, you know what you need mentoring for. Okay? Assumption, for you to avoid that risk element. Okay? We took a lot of risk when we started. Right? There is an opportunity. Right? That's what you should do. Right? And as I said, the second point is this has to be agile. Make it a habit of doing at least when you're starting off, at least once every month. Review your business model canvas and see the assumptions go through and whether this model is working or not. At least once a month, when you are starting in your first few years, you should do that. Of course, I did not do that when I started because I had no idea of business model canvassing. we learned it really hard. As I said, what we do is, I have certain clusters of work that we do. We are 60 people, right? And each cluster is being led by some people, right? So they have to prepare their own BMC. The BMC basis of financial projection, detailed plans. It's about people who do the thing every day need to understand what and how of things. So you are a terrific developer, but if you are leading the company, then you should know who are my customers. For what? If you do not understand customer relationship, customer segment. So with that, thank you very much. And what we